Friesland is a Mennonite colony in the department of San Pedro in the northern part of eastern Paraguay. One can only understand its history and development when one knows how the Mennonites came to be. In the 16th century, a radical group of Anabaptists was formed. They rejected infant baptism and practiced the believer's baptism of adults. Due to their pacifist stance, they refused military service and called for the separation of church and state. This led to persecution of the Anabaptists from the state as well as the church, which led to them being scattered across the European continent. The Dutch Catholic ex-priest Menno Simons gathered and consolidated many of the scattered baptizers, who soon thereafter were known as Mennonites. Mennonites have always been characterized by their love for country life. On the different trails they've taken since the 16th century, they have passed through Holland, Prussia, Russia, Canada, United States, Mexico, Bolivia, and Paraguay. In the process, again and again, they worked tough soil, which at times was useless and desolated, and made it fruitful. The history of Mennonites in Paraguay. In the year 1929, a small group of Mennonites fled the Soviet Union. A part of this group established the colony Fernheim in 1930. Here in the wilderness, they began to build up their existence out of nothing in the Paraguayan Chaco. The first years in Fernheim were extremely tough. The climactic, economic, and social conditions were difficult. All this resulted in a group of about a third of the residents of Fernheim leaving the colony 7 years after its founding and looking for better opportunities in eastern Paraguay. The history of the colony Friesland. And so in 1937, 45 kilometers east of the Paraguay River in the department of San Pedro, this group established the first Mennonite colony in eastern Paraguay. The name Friesland was derived from one of the Mennonite places of origin in Holland and Germany. Since the founding of the colony, faith has been one of the most important pillars. Other important pillars are work, family, and education. "135 families with about 750 people settled on a piece of land of approximately 6,911 hectares. The ranches and houses of the colony were laid out in villages. In the first 8 years, they planted cotton, but the great success with this crop never materialized. The absence of a suitable market was noticeable. In the following 10 years, the residents of Friesland earned their livelihood as employees, craftsmen, and cattle herders. They also offered their services as wagoneers. The uncertainty and the economic instability of these years drained the courage and hope of many and brought about bigger emigrations. In the 60s, with great effort and due to a stable economical development, more land was bought. The colony residents became farmers once again. To start out with, the farmers planted mainly corn for commercialization. Years later, the wheat and soybean era began and brought great progress to the colony. In 1989, the no-till method was implemented. It increased production and protected the environment at the same time. At that time, approximately 640 people lived in Friesland. The most important lines of work are agriculture, cattle breeding, milk production. And in addition, entrepreneurship has been promoted greatly. The Civil Association of the Friesland Colony. From the founding of the Friesland Colony, the residents worked deliberately on establishing a communal entity having the function of taking care of any civilian purposes. This civil association was recognized as a non-profit organization by Decree number 9224 on June 6, 1995. In most cases, members of the association are also members of the Friesland Cooperative. The presidency of this organization is exercised jointly with the president of the cooperative. The goals of the Civil Association are based on mutual help, promoting Christian education, the stabilizing of social work, promoting the economical and cultural development of the members, the cooperation in developing neighborhood assistance, and the support for educating youth and adults. In the educational area, the Civil Association is responsible for the administration of the Friesland School. The costs of this institution are covered in half by the members of the Civil Association, and the other half are covered by monthly payments from the students. In this way, education is possible for every young person in Friesland. The most important learning objective concentrates on transmitting knowledge based on Christian values. Order, discipline, creativity, and individual initiative are another big challenge for the educational work. In the area of languages, the students take the German language diploma exam. Furthermore, the school participates in national and international competitions in mathematics, art, music, and sports. The association also has a music-promoting constituency, where young people are stimulated in the area of music. The opening of the Institute Canzone, which was recognized by the Department of Education and Culture in May of 2014, carries out the examinations in piano and music theory with professional examiners. It helps increase the level of teaching and learning. The Communication Department issues a monthly newsletter, runs a local radio station, a museum, and manages the archive. Friesland can also be found on the internet through the website. The sport club Estrella, through which the colony participates in intercolonial soccer and volleyball tournaments, as well as the different parks such as Lomas, Tapiraquay, Pioneer Park, and the multiple trails in the Molkerai Park, all spaces with an atmosphere that are inviting for relaxation and walks, are all part of the recreational department of the Civil Association. In relation to services, the Civil Association of the Colony Friesland is active in social work, has a nursing and retirement home, and health insurance. On top of that, it owns a library which offers a variety of reading materials, and a post office with mailboxes for the respective members. The Friesland Cooperative. As was mentioned, one of the pillars of the Friesland colony is work. Considering the need to find a local market for their products, the Friesland Cooperative was established. The goal was to improve the economic situation through the collaboration of members. The cooperative was recognized by the national government in the year 1953. The cooperative is administered by a president, a 6-member administrative board, and a supervisory board. The cooperative's president is elected democratically and by the members of the institution. The highest authority in the cooperative is the General Assembly of all members. The cooperative has several departments. They are the accounting department, the representation in Asunción, the capital city, all the farms, their compound fodder factory Frisco, the dairy department, which works under the name of Treble. A further service which is provided by the cooperative is commerce, the supermarket, and the gas stations, which run under the name of ECOP, and supply fuel and some raw materials, as well as spare parts and construction material, fall under this category. Through an advisory service, the producers receive integral and technical guidance. Seeds are stored dry in the silos after harvest, and through the cooperative, products like soybeans and corn are commercialized. Cattle breeding is just as important in the agricultural sector. Here, the meat as well as the milk are made to a quality product through genetic improvement. In the meat sector, the co-op works together with the Neuland Slaughterhouse. A healthy and sustainable environmental adaptation is strived for in every area. SIAG is a system which encourages the integration of farming and cattle breeding to guarantee the improvement of the soil with the goal of increasing the productivity of crops and cattle. Further important services of the cooperative are found in the Tabea Hospital. Professionals, specialists, and technical personnel provide medical care around the clock in a modern hospital building. The Transportation Department, the Finance Department, the Internal Auditing, the IT Department, and the Road Construction Department round off the services of the co-op. With sights set on the future, the cooperative has founded the joint stock company Kurusu New. Here the members have the opportunity to make an investment through the purchase of stocks which will bring dividends over time. The Education Committee is responsible for the implementation of training for the members and employees of the cooperative. It also provides support for students through a scholarship system. The congregations and the Committee for Church Affairs. Since its inception, there have been two congregations in the Friesland colony, the Mennonite Church and the Mennonite Brethren Church. The congregations organize separate and joint services and activities in the respective churches. Both congregations share their foundational faith and base it on the Word of God. The path to salvation is not via membership to a specific congregation, but the relationship with God through His Son, Jesus Christ, who is the only way to salvation. Both congregations are represented in the Committee for Church Affairs, also known as KFK. This board is responsible for the organization of joint events, such as evangelistic crusades, Thanksgiving, Memorial Days, etc. And jointly they carry out missionary work in the area. COVESAP. Since the 1960s, the Friesland colony strives to help surrounding localities through different projects. The goal is to improve their standard of living through offering agricultural advice from technicians, giving credit, aiming for a joint market, offering medical care, and improving their level of education. On February 7, 2009, the Carolina Cooperative was founded within the framework of the program COVESAP 3. This founding in the area of self-administration was the result of a laborious process of education and training within the co-op. The Carolina Cooperative is an important economic engine in the district of Itacurví del Rosario, generating cash flow, and is able to market the products of the co-op's members. The most important branches of the Carolina Cooperative are sesame cultivation, milk production, and the issuing of loans to its members for various projects. The members are identifying themselves increasingly with this institution. Friesland in the national context. The Friesland Cooperative, as well as the Civil Association, are recognized legally by the national government and in the Itacurví del Rosario jurisdiction. A strong collaboration with this municipality is sought after through the Civil Association and the Junta Municipal de Vecinos, otherwise known as the Neighborhood City Council. The Friesland colony is in constant communication with the other Mennonite colonies in Paraguay through the Association of Paraguayan Mennonite Colonies and the church boards. By these means, a connection is established with the Mennonitenheim, which is the Mennonite hostel, and Students' Dorm in Asunción, as well as the Airene Mental Health Center and Teachers Training Institute in Philadelphia, and others. The cooperative has shares in ECOP, Bangkok, and the insurance company Taju through the Federation of Production Cooperatives, or FECOPROD. Each generation in the Friesland colony daily strives to build up and strengthen the community through mutual trust. An important goal is to maintain the inherent faith and tradition, but likewise integrate with the surroundings to be a role model of a good lifestyle and effective work. The challenge for Friesland in the future is to deliver a positive contribution for Paraguay and create new opportunities for our children and neighbors.